Is it recording right now?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to a comic book look.
Yes.
We're on issue 37, rocking it true, keeping it real. We're your weekly comic book show. We talk about everything relating to comics, anything about comics. We want it on our show, and thank you for tuning back. This week we have another great show. We're coming live from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Tom, Jon, and we're going to go over some a big stack of comics that we got.
Huge.
Today
Ginormous.
is New Comic Book Day, and I was able to actually get through a lot of my comics, which I usually don't get through until the end of the week, so I can talk about them. But first, before we get into that, a big thing I want to go over is the New 52 with DC. We talked about it a bunch, at the beginning, and in earlier shows, check us out. We have like 5 weeks in a row. We are dominated by the New 52. We were so excited when it came out.
Well, there's a lot of buzz with it.
Oh, totally. It was like the biggest thing to hit. And so with that, we talked about it a lot, and now we're going to do our follow-up. As maybe some of you viewers have known, I had told you I was going to read all the books, and I read 1 through 5 of every single New 52 book. And so it sucked at points, and it was a lot of good books, but as a whole, when you go into this New 52 relaunch, you want everything to be new and awesome, and DC's gonna be way different. It's gonna, they're gonna have one and done stories. It's gonna be really fun, and there's gonna be, books for all different kinds of people, and you just hope that they're gonna do something really amazing. But now I'm 5 issues deep. You can really tell they had the same creators that they had before, and the same artists still on contract, and they had to use these, and there was not really so clear about what you wanted to restart and what you were going to keep in continuity. And so some books that really could have used a lot of just getting rid of the continuity and starting something new, they try to bring too much in, like Hawk and Dove, and some of the other ones where it's like you should have not even mentioned anything of before, should have busted right into it. And then there's other ones where, you can tell that there's literally no story at all, like Batman: The Dark Knight. I mean, how this book gets put out is just beyond me. It's just not a good book at all. It's so generic. And when you have all those other Batman titles, you had them before, now they're just kind of under different names, but mostly the same creators doing the same thing. And, all that excitement after you read 260 comics really is brought down quite a bit, and it sucks. But DC had us, they had the industry, and then they had a chance to make a difference, and they didn't. So I don't know. Okay. Do you feel at all that what I'm saying here, Jon? Well, I mean, I haven't really talked about talked to Jon about this idea that I feel.
No, but I mean, what you did was you actually went out there, and you've got a lot of experience with the characters. You read all the books, 1 through 5, and that's kind of the splash. How'd they do? What impression did they make, and so forth. I started with some duds as well. I didn't read all 52, obviously. God, my wallet feels like it did, but yeah, I totally agree. I mean, there's some stars, and then there's some kind of not so good ones. And I'm talking. I have a pool of about 10 titles or so. Yeah. That I do, if that. Anymore, I've cut back.
Yeah, I think I'm way less than 10.
So it was, it's cool. It was a cool launch, but we kind of called it in terms of I always say this. I'm curious to see how the quality's going to uphold. Yeah. When you get past issue 2.
Exactly, and well, even in some issues in number 1, I mean, it was hard to even get past.
Mm-hmm.
And that's terrible. And I would say my biggest disappointment, just personally, was Blackhawks. I talked up Blackhawks a whole bunch. I, tried to vouch for it. I tried to tell people to go get it. I, talked up Mike Costa, and then when I read it, it was just very generic, and darn it, I just wanted it to be so good, and it could be one of the ones I put under the ugly. I listed all the ones that I thought were worth mentioning in the list of the good, the bad, and the ugly. And which one do you want to start with first, John? I'll let you pick.
Oh man, don't do this to me.
Oh, just come on. The good, the bad, or the ugly?
Let's start with the ugly.
The ugly. Okay, this is a short list. And what I put in the ugly category was books that could have been better, I think, if we would have had someone else on art. I think that there was a lot of potential and good writers, but just took me out. And the first one is Action Comics. And Briggs Morales is a great artist, but just the way he portrayed Superman, I just did not like it. I didn't think it fit. I thought Grant Morrison needs to have somebody that is just unique to Grant Morrison. I just didn't like it, and it really threw me off, and I'm no longer picking it up. The next one would be Resurrection Man. Resurrection Man, it's just a cool idea, and it's a great... I really thought it was a cool story, but there just kept on being so much almost like Americanized fan service. Like you would see like panty shots and, just too much of that, and didn't have anything to do with the story, and it was like, it really didn't like that at all. Then the next one is Teen Titans. I thought Teen Titans was going to be a great... I liked the whole story of Teen Titans, how it's getting together, and I liked the different individual characters, but that art, it's just so derived from the 90s. It is so derived from the 90s. Like, too much, posing and, ass sticking out, and, the spreads are just, I don't know. I like it a little more simple, more clean, more, really good storytelling than Brett Booth 1994 All-Star. Sorry, brother. I know you love that book.
God damn it, dude. I picked up number 7. I have no... it's a little iffy from time to time, but it's starting to grow on me a little bit,
Yeah, and...
A little bit. And I never root for the good guys, you guys, so this breaks my heart.
Well, I mean, I think... I agree.
No,
that...
I really... The reasons I like the book, so,
yeah.
Come on, the Cartoon Network thing, we talked about that.
Yeah, and...
Bit, so, yeah, I'm kind of a space cadet when it comes to that.
And you, it's totally in the same vein of what X-Force and, the early 90s kind of, style of kind of coloring, and you just like that. I mean, it's never something, and it's just something that I don't know why I just can't get behind as much as you, and so that really threw me out. So that's the ugly. And then do you want to hear the good or the bad first?
Let's go the bad.
The bad, all right. Give me the bad news, Doc. All right, bad. It sucks because you're going into it and you're thinking they're going to start over. They have so many crappy titles. They're just going to do all new things, and they're going to be awesome, and people are going to have great chances. And you're like, oh, there's going to be some really good titles in here. So these are some titles that I was looking forward to, really looking forward to, because potentially their characters could be awesome, that I put in the bad, and then I'll just go through the rest of the bad. Grifter, really wanted it to be awesome. Really wanted to. Ended up just being terrible. Great art, terrible story. Nathan Edmondson is a great writer too, as he wrote it. So it just didn't work out. I don't know maybe if editorial had too much to do with this blue demonic thing that they were fighting the whole entire time, that's trying to cross over to different things. Another one was Blue Beetle. I want Blue Beetle to be so good, and I just heard on the last issue 6 or 7 that people are saying that it's got a 5-star issue and stuff like that. So I'm thinking I might just start.
You're gonna trust
I might. Well, yeah, because they agreed that said the first 5 sucked, and I agreed too.
God.
But now it's supposed to be a little bit better, and I might just suck me back in because I love the Blue Beetle. But seriously, just bad. It's not. They have an opportunity to do whatever they want with this great character of Jaime Ramirez, and just explore whatever they want and do your own thing and be really unique, and they just don't. That is exactly the opposite of what happens. Very generic.
Yeah.
Then the rest I'm just going to list. These are the comics that I read the first 5 issues, so I can feel like, this is my opinion, and you may disagree, but I mean, I really did think these were bad comics, and I read a lot of comics, so I know.
On this one.
I don't think I covered too many of yours. Detective Comics, it's just bad. It's bad writing. I don't like it. Green Arrow, somebody give this guy a break. God, I hope just sometime somebody writes him a good ass story because he needs it. Hawk and Dove, just terrible. Static Shock, I mean, just so generic. I mean, I can't even tell you what it was about. I read all 5 issues. Mr. Terrific, another story that they could have done something really cool with. Just so generic. So many bad jokes about him being black. It's just terrible. Then Justice League, you had a giant chance there to be really awesome, and yes, you do terrible things. I am Bruce Wayne. My parents were killed, and I became Batman. Just horrible decisions. Superman, how boring can you get? You have a chance to restart Superman, and you just are so boring. It's just a boring comic. Hawkman, just terrible. Tony S. Daniel writing, and just not good.
Well, what's with you and Tony S. Daniel?
I don't like him.
Like, because he's a writer and an artist.
Yeah. I don't like either on either side.
Oh.
Sorry guys, I know a lot of people do, and I get it. I mean, Detective Comics is a top 10 selling comic.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, it's not like I'm in the minority here for comic fans. Yeah. But that's just how I feel. Oh, yeah. Batman the Dark Knight, talked about that. I think that's about it then. Those are the ones that I truly feel are bad. I mean, and we shouldn't have had that. Yeah. In the New 52. We shouldn't have had that many bad comics.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you disagree with any of those? Do you read any of those?
Well, just humbly, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Teen Titans and well, we'll go over.
And that's the ugly because Teen Titans.
The art bothers me.
I just don't like that style of art.
Yeah. And that's what I'm used to. That's my.
And I was surprised. A lot of, and all. I want to mention all the books I'm not naming. They're 3-star mediocre books that I did it. I can say most of them I enjoyed getting through. I enjoyed reading all 1 through 5 of the ones I'm not naming, but they're just forgettable books. I wouldn't want to pick them up otherwise. And let's get to the good. This is the elite list of the ones that I truly feel at least push boundaries and try to do something cool. And these are going to surprise you, especially IMJ Nation. They're going to surprise you on some of my picks because they're not. Some of these are not nation-friendly picks, if you guys know what I mean. And then Veteran Media Junkies World, where I'm a strong member of, and us, a lot of like-minded people, we tend to not like certain things. Yeah. And one of those things that I put on my good list would be Red Hood and the Outlaws. To say that the way they, objectified Starfire made it be so ridiculous about her just, screwing around. It was a good series. I enjoyed where it went, and I got over the art on the really big thighs. It kind of seemed like for a while. Yeah. But I liked it, and I think the Red Hood's a good character, and I think this is the best that they've done with a Green Arrow character in a long time with Roy, and it ended up being a pretty good 5 issues. I haven't read the rest. I haven't gone back, but I'm going to get those digitally eventually because it was they were worth reading. And it surprised me as surprising you hearing it, probably, guys.
Right.
Another one like that is Suicide Squad. It's in the good. It's in the great. This is a book that people are dying, and it's like, but it is so, it's like almost turns into be one of those fun books. Like it's just constantly, crazy things are happening, jumping through, backstabbing, and getting around, and I don't know. And there's always fun, crazy characters, and you think they're trying to work with each other, but are they really? I don't know. And it turns out to be like a pretty damn good time, and I was super surprised to like this because I love Harley Quinn, and I like Harley Quinn's character already, so I didn't need to see her with her tits just seriously sticking out. But whatever, you get over it, you get over that kind of stuff. I didn't like the art as much, but the whole story is just so fun.
Yeah, King Shark, man.
Yeah, oh god, King Shark's so funny. And what's a yo-yo guy, right?
Yeah.
He ate yo-yo.
Yeah. He has to come out as a lame character.
Oh god, it's just great. It ended up being in the good. So I'm surprised that they did that, but I hope it ends up staying good, and maybe I'll have to pick up the rest sometime. Another surprise, before I get into the regular ones, that most of you guys will probably know which ones are the ones I'm going to like, is OMAC. Um, Dan DiDio, I never thought he could write anything good at all. I mean, everything I've ever seen him get his hands on is terrible. And there's some talk on the IMJ forums that his top 10 list of greatest things he did at DC, that list is just terrible as well. I mean, it's like a shame list that he's proud of. I don't know. But anyway, DiDio, you nailed it with OMAC. It ended up being that fun, over-the-top book that you're looking for. Smash, boom, big art, OMAC, and I ended up really liking it. And it wasn't like, it's just a fluff story, nothing too big, nothing too heavy, but ended up being fun, original, didn't have sex and, tying down with something like, you saw in Batgirl and Catwoman and, Red Hood and the Outlaws and Suicide Squad. It just was good comic booking, and I was super surprised by that. One that I put on here is Batwoman. The art was, just groundbreaking anytime J.H. Williams does it. But, I do gotta say, the story hasn't been, exactly my favorite. But I'll continue to read it. I know that Amy Reeder's off art now, too, and I don't really get that. Some of the changes that have been going around at the New 52 is also some weird stuff. We'll talk more about that when we get to Animal Man. But Amy Reeder's off of it, apparently, and I don't really know why. And that sucks, because that would have been a good match with J.H. Williams, at least. But now, I just wait. I just wish they would wait and have only J.H. Williams art be on it, because this other stuff is just so subpar. And when you have a subpar story and then you don't have J.H. Williams art to bring it up to level 197, it sucks. And so I'm still putting it on the good, because the first 5 issues were great, but now I'm kind of, I just feel like might have to
chopping block.
Yep, it's on the chopping block soon. Another one that surprised me was Nightwing. I wasn't a huge fan of the art. They kind of did some supernatural stuff a little bit, but I think that is written really well, and I think it's the best that Nightwing's been. I love Dick Grayson, and definitely surprised me. I didn't think it was going to be that good.
Really?
And it just continued to be really good. I started out at first thinking it was going to be good, but I read the first issue, and then I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. But then as I read more, it definitely got much better, and I really did enjoy it. So yeah, Nightwing is definitely something that I put on the good list. Next up, I'll put I, Vampire. Do I think it's the greatest story ever? I don't. But they tried something original. There's original art. It's written in a completely different way through this narration system. It takes a little bit, the storytelling is unique, and it takes a little bit to know what's going on. And so that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Did you read any of the I, Vampires?
No, I had a chance to.
My buddy G Unit borrowed them to me, so I got to read those physically, unlike most of these I read digitally, because you get them cheaper after they're older. I don't know if you guys knew that. Check it out. And then another good one I'll put is Flash, especially because of the art. I mean, it's just because Francis Manipool is doing something different on the art, and it looks really cool. Once again, the story is nothing, but it's still at least nothing special, but it's still making it to the good list, and because the art is so good. And then if I could notch it up to the great, I would go to the great right now, and that's going to be Animal Man, Swamp Thing, Batman, and Wonder Woman. These are my favorite things that have came out of the New 52. I think they're heads and feet above everything else I read. Batman being at the very tier top. Wonder Woman being right below that, and then Swamp Thing and Animal Man just being sometimes at the very top when I read it, and then I kind of just Batman gets back up there, and then those two go back up to the top, and so they're tied for first, all 3 of those, and then Wonder Woman's right below them, because I love it. I love what's going on, and I think that with Animal Man you have something really special. They start going into this hipster culture of Animal Man being this person who was in movies, and you explore this really cool art, and he has this cool family, and the artist is so unique when he gets into the route. You never imagine any other artist returning work like that, and then now the artist is leaving, and he's going to Birds of Prey.
Yes. Speaking of which, 3-star books that you don't care about picking up again, easy to forget. Bullshit Flag, Birds of Prey, Catwoman, Deathstroke. I humbly disagree.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with Tom right now on many levels, and I still have another layer of the onion that I need to peel with him later on in the show too. But it's a list, it's an opinion. Like you said, IMJ Nation most likely wouldn't agree with him. As a denizen of said civilization, I have to agree with that statement. But you guys probably don't like what I read either.
No, I mean those books are fine, but they are just for me just mediocre.
Deathstroke though, he killed his whole team.
Yeah, it was okay.
Tom,
I don't know, man.
It's
I just
okay.
think I want everybody to be amazing, and I think if you give the chance.
But I agree with Batman. Batman is just knocking it out of the park, just phenomenal.
And I do
like
think
it so much. I do like it.
I think Batman is amazing. This whole Court of Owls is amazing.
It's
Animal Man missing its artist is gonna really hurt.
Interesting.
It's really gonna hurt, and like
it'll
you
still
could
back the story though.
yeah, you could have, but you could have had this run, Jeff Lemire and Travel Foreman, and you do this crazy run that everybody talks about for forever.
Yeah.
And now it's gonna be just such a short run, and that sucks. So, but yes, I'm still super excited for that. But still, Batman definitely going up. Speaking of going up, it is actually going up in price too to $3.99. The Death Slayer for me.
Yeah.
When it comes to books, you guys know I hate that, but they're gonna have like some sort of backup, and I can't drop it. I seriously cannot drop it because I love what Scott Snyder's doing. So I'll still be reading it. But that's the New 52. That's the follow-up 1 through 5. I mean,
Hold on. How did Red Lanterns get into a 3-star category?
I liked it. I thought Red Lanterns was just fine, and it turned out being a lot better than a lot of the other three. I would even say that's probably a 3.5-star book, Red Lanterns.
Jesus.
Maybe even
The
4-star.
one time I don't back the bad guy, and this is Thomas. Oh.
But dude, those are still nothing groundbreaking.
I know. No, I completely agree. I'm just surprised that you left it in the middle ground.
Yeah. Would you think I was going to put it in the bad?
Yes.
No, Red Lanterns was okay, man. I liked it.
The first issue was cool, like I told you, the vomiting cat. But then when you get to the second one, it's just like, who's going to be the next Red Lantern?
Oh,
is it the squawking female? Is it?
But by the time you get to the 5th one, you're like, oh, this is great.
Is it?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, I suppose.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot in that pile, and there's probably some that lean towards the bad and lean towards the front, but those are the ones I wanted to talk about. So that's what we get, and I mean,
Justice League International.
Yeah, in the middle. Stormwatch in the middle.
I stopped. Yeah.
And so, was it a big success for them in sales? Yes. Did they change everything? No. It's where do they go from here? I don't really know. We'll see. I guess before Watchmen is where they go from here. But anyway, we'll see what happens next with the New 52. Hopefully, we get some serious legendary runs out of some of these great books that were on the top in the good, and hopefully some of the ones in the bad and the ugly get the hack pretty soon, and we switch in some other books with them. But anyway, let's do the era stacks.
Turntable action.
All right, man.
You ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready.
Well, I decided to do a little investigating today, and boy, am I really not glad I did that. Because I picked up not only number 1 of Batman the Dark Knight, but I also picked up number 3, 4, 5, and 7. Because I was like, I'm going to expand my Batman horizons on there. So, when Tom said what he said earlier in the episode, you saw me biting my lip, which he did not.
I did. I wasn't know why. I didn't know why I didn't.
But the funniest thing is, as I flipped through this, the only pages I liked were the ones at the end when the villains are breaking out of Arkham Asylum. Yeah. And the other thing that sold me on trying the series out was issue number 3, I want to say, has him entangled in vines, and obviously that means that my BFF is in that issue Poison Ivy. So, and Gabe at work goes, I have a couple issues I can give to you too. So that says it right there. Not continuing the series, but I certainly will read what I bought, obviously. Love the Batman U, but I asked the guys too, is this in continuity with Batman?
Oh, it is?
Oh, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. And the issue as a whole did nothing for me. This is 1 out of 5 right here, if that. Just shame on you, David Finch.
Yes.
If I ever meet you at a con, I will shake your hand and
because
you will apologize.
he is known as this artist that is supposed to be really great to a lot of people. But they let him. He was gonna write, and then he couldn't write. And
it just didn't do it for me. Like, I mean,
yay,
no
Mr. Freeze.
It just didn't do it for me.
Story.
There's not. I completely agree. So I haven't read the other ones yet. Mm-hmm. Shame on you. I hate you.
But I'm sorry that you should have asked me first, John.
Nope,
I mean, Batman and Robin is actually decent enough that you should have got that if you were gonna get one.
It's all good,
Since I always review Fantastic Four, I'm just gonna go for a quick Fantastic. Our FF came out. This series is amazing. I've said everything good about it. So let's say something bad. What's with this cover? I mean, the coloring on the cover, the shading on the people's faces. Don't like it at all. Just that's what I'm going with. My first one. That's all I have to say about that because you guys know that I like Fantastic.
You're gonna go again because I don't have that much.
Okay, and then the next one I'll say is Morning Glories. I know, like I've said before, some of you guys aren't picking up anymore, but I mean, as being an overall arching story and being that long-term, long-form telling of the story, I really do like it. And I think they continue to add good things, and they continue to answer different questions, and the characters continue to go through different things that, are really interesting and cool. And, you have to go with it. You definitely have to go with it. I mean, they still act like normal, everyday teens going to school, and they're in this trapped underground world, but still, I still like it, and I know a lot of people have dropped, but I think Nick Spencer is really still keeping it with that one. Okay, you're up.
Are you sure?
Yeah, dude. Then I can do 2 more.
Alright. Got Dak and Dark Wolverine number 23. An exploding ending naturally. FF is pissed, of course, because they're courteous towards him. And what does he do? He goes after Mr. Fantastic, drugs him up, and kicks him off the top of a building.
What?
Saved by the Human Torch, of course.
Oh, good.
Obviously, a Fantastic Four is invincible.
And Human Torch is back.
Yeah, he's back and he's awesomer than ever thanks to the negative zone demons.
And did he have the negative zone arm thing in that?
No.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so they might get removed from my hero list now that I've seen that. The effects aren't there anymore. It's back to Sally Cell. Anyways, overall as an issue, very, very clever, very dark. Dakin is very manipulative. He ends up blowing himself up in the middle of town. There's no body for anyone to find. And he's like, "Oh, by the way, Dad, there's a bomb in a school, states away or something." So Wolverine has Thor fly into the school to attempt to save him. It turns out there really isn't a bomb. There's just a doll of Wolverine, showing him that he's just kind of a tool. That's how Dakin wants him to see himself. So overall, just kind of a strange ending, I suppose. But, he goes off, he just goes against the Avengers. It's bloody. He doesn't have his healing factor, jumps off a building. Typical badassery that you'd expect from the character.
Let me see that. Who's writing that these days?
These days.
Williams?
Yeah.
Rob Williams.
So. Yep.
I heard it was getting canceled. Apparently it's still coming out, so whatever. My next ones will be All-Star Western number 7 and Justice League Dark number 7.
Sweet.
Both, as you noticed, made my mediocre list because
what is up with Justice League Dark these days? This is your woman. Sorry, your woman. I gotta be quiet.
It is, but this is it's like I can't wait for Paul Cornell to get back. I mean, not to Paul Cornell, but Jeff Lemire is going to be taking over this book, and I can't wait for that. So I'm on board until that happens. And I think Pete Milligan just had his chance. He did his thing, and whatever it is, what it is. But you know what? It wasn't that exciting, and it was pretty not that good. But Zatanna's in it, so guess what, guys? I'm buying it.
Yeah, obviously.
All-Star Western.
Wait. This is another 3-star. Why?
Dear God, do I miss one-shot Jonah Hex stories in the West. Dear God, do I miss it. The one-shot Jonah Hex being awesome, getting wrapped up. I mean, to have these storylines that are just going through and nobody cares, going to New Orleans, and it's nobody cares. When Jonah Hex is in there, he's saying cool things. You're like, oh, this is the Jonah Hex I like, but then it's just all this other shit. And you got to put the old ass Dr. Arkham as his partner. I don't know, man. Real close to dropping it. Real close to dropping it. Unfortunately. Drop it like it's hot. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm supporting one of the ugly books, Teen Titans #7.
The Ugly.
Okay. I didn't mind this book that much. Honestly, it's just a fun book, team building. Again, it's rare, guys, that I root for the good guys, but it's interesting to watch that character development again, and that's pretty much the only thing I got out of this issue. Artwork wise, I'm not. Tom's that's more of his forte. I'm more of the story and what the characters and my impressions as a reader and so forth. So all in all, I give this about a 3.5 out of 5. I mean, it's doing reasonably well. I mean, there have been DC lines that I have just dropped because it just started sucking. And this one, it's okay. I mean, I'm kind of curious to see how Superboy's integration of the team's going to go coming up. I'm just kind of curious to see where it goes. It's a very hodgepodge team, so there's potential, and potential is what we expect from a young team.
Yeah, totally.
Like that. So I think right now it's doing what it needs to do.
Totally. Like I said, I like the story, and I was very surprised that Scott Lobdell did a really good job of, kind of bringing it together and doing something kind of cool, and I just didn't like the art that much.
Yeah.
The Unwritten, 35.5. I told you this book was ending. It had a $4.99 issue. Somebody said online that it was ending. I thought it was over. They said to be continued after I read it. And then 35.5 comes out, and then you're like, what the heck? Awesome. Is this ending soon? What's going on with this? Is it ending at 40, 30? When's the last issue? I don't know. Are we not ending? Are we keep going? I don't know. I haven't heard anything official, but it's back, guys. 35.5. We got old Tommy Taylor right on the cover there, and this whole thing is breaking wide open. I mean, things are happening in every issue right now that it's just getting crazy. So now we're to the .5 issue, which hate the numbering. Hate the numbering. The point
whatever's. I hate it anyways.
But
yeah.
Still. Love that book. Love it. Unwritten.
The next one I didn't get a chance to read, unfortunately, yet, but I'm very proud to say I picked up Alpha Girl #2. So I'll definitely let you guys know. Tell you what, I'll post my reaction to it on the Facebook group. So if you want to know what I thought of it,
there you go.
Come join our group.
Facebook, A Comic Book Look.
Check us out.
Just search for it. It's a group. You ask to come in, and we'll approve you right away.
We are on call. The pagers go off.
Yep.
People added within 24 hours. That's the rule. Cool people on there. Very cool people. So, definitely check us out. Laid back, obviously. Otherwise, IMJ is totally cool too. Tons of cool people in there.
Obviously, come to, that's where we want all the commenting going on.
We're pretty
Check us out.
relaxed.
InveteranteMediaJunkies.com if you are catching this on on Facebook or from, YouTube, from our YouTube channel. You can catch us a lot sooner by checking us out on Inveterate Media Junkies. And thanks for on Inveterate Media Junkies watching us right now. Make sure you comment. Tell us what you guys think of the new DC and what of these books that we're making. We still got more to go, but we just like to throw that stuff in there sometimes. It's like when a band, they do like 10 songs, then in between songs,
Get
like,
CD.
check out the merch booth, check it out, buy something for your friends.
Valentine's Day is coming up.
Easter is coming up.
It is. We better get some Easter swag.
All right. And is it my?
It's your turn. It is totally your turn.
I'm gonna go with book I haven't read yet. Spaceman. Just excited to keep on going. I think this is 5 of 9. So we're really rounding stories. More than halfway done now. Love seeing those Vertigo miniseries that are really cool and original and good. Unlike some of the other Vertigo stories we will be talking about at the end. Oh, dum.
What a twist.
All right, you're up.
I am?
Yeah.
Well, today was a very sad day for me. The new Avengers #23, the Dark Avengers, getting wiped across the floor. I told you, 22 ends with Scar ending up betraying them. Avengers assemble and just knocks them all in the air. This depicts a battle between Scar and the Dark Avengers. He mops the floor with them. And then, that scene where Norman Osborn's meets Scar, he shows up and is like, hey, I have a proposition for you. Well, that scene continues, and after Norman leaves, Scar gets on the phone with Captain America. Hey, Steve, I have a problem. Norman Osborn, he came to visit me. And so Steve's like, oh, go undercover for me. So the whole time he was undercover.
Nice.
So, nice.
Change that continuity.
Right. I'm kind of with Tom on that. It was a good twist, I suppose. Boy, was I disappointed though, because I really wanted that team to succeed. Obviously, we know that they're not going.
I really wanted that team to succeed.
I really wanted that team to succeed, but we obviously know that they're not going anywhere because of the Dark Avengers twist coming up. However, as a big Dark Avengers fan, I mean, I really wanted to see some more villainy on here, but they really got what they deserved. Like, Scar schooled the hell out of them. So that was cool. The new Avengers showed up, and just kicked their ass. So it was interesting. Everyone's going to jail, Avi, and they'll probably be working with Luke Cage in the Thunderbolts program, based on what the news we've read online. So, but New Avengers 23, 3 out of 5.
Just Avengers up, man. I forgot you were reading Avengers still.
What?
Okay, let's go with Walking Dead. It says right on here, a larger world, and that is exactly what it is. I mean,
How'd that one turn out? Last issue was awesome.
These books, this is just some great comic booking, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody because I don't. I'm not going to say what happened. It just was, the world got way larger, and they realized that they're not the only community that is really trying to make it, and it's really good how they react in a different place. And The Walking Dead continues to be good. I mean, 95 issues. We're really probably prepping up for a huge issue 100, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was great comic booking.
I'm bundling the last two together.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I'm going to go with Daredevil. Guys, I've been raving about how good this has been, and it just continues to be. They kind of even a little more serious and dark here, but still really, really good. And this cover just blew me away. Mark Waid continues to do just wonders for Daredevil and crew, and I'm excited that they're on there. Super excited. And then so I'll just wrap up my last one, and then so you can drop your 2 bombs. I'm assuming because he's saving them for last. I can't see he's covering them all like a jerk. Scalped. I mean, we're issuing on, I think, number 60 is the last. This is number 57. You thought that finally Dash had justice. Things were going good for him. He got somebody that you think you're going to fall in love with, and then some really bad things from his past maybe catching up with him. Jason Aaron, God damn you. You better get another creator-owned series going, like, immediately after Scalped ends. Immediately. You have to. Because, that's so good, man. And, you can't just put all your coins in one pot over at Marvel, Jason Aaron. Get a couple creator-owned things going on, if I were you. But that's the stack, and it was a good week. Here it is. Alright, guys, I'm going to do these as a bundle. Avengers vs. X-Men number 0 and the Avengers 24.1. I went into this with the most negative attitude ever, that this is going to be complete bullshit, a waste of time, who gives a fuck about the characters and so forth. I was pleasantly surprised. I was actually completely floored by both issues in terms of the character content on there, and I haven't given Marvel any thumbs up lately, and it's nice to be able to finally do that again as a reader. I seriously, I do appreciate what both of these issues did. Wanda makes an appearance, and the Wonder Woman and Spider-Woman talked her into going back to the mansion. She reunites. Hold on, did you say Wonder Woman?
Or, not Wonder Woman. My bad, Miss Marvel.
Oh,
damn
okay.
it. Yeah, I always think about people flying and kicking ass. See, that's what happens when you watch DC cartoons and you start seeing
DC
those.
Nation, we love it.
I'm sorry, not Wonder Woman, Miss Marvel.
Okay.
So, it was just so crazy to see her interaction with Vision. And are you familiar with what happened?
Oh yeah. No, well, I mean, in the past, yeah.
Yeah. So it turns out that Wanda had control over She-Hulk, and She-Hulk ripped the Vision in half while under her control and effectively killed him. So he recently got repaired. So seeing their interaction, he's like, "You're not welcome here." And the guys are all at the door, like Iron Man, Wolverine, and everything. Whoa, that was harsh. Like total bros club, So that was interesting. So we see kind of Wanda's struggle. We see Vision.
Well, I mean, House of M. I mean, Wanda fucked up.
Yeah,
I mean,
and she fucked up bad. The other part of the issue deals with Hope, obviously, since they're both on the cover. She goes after the Snake Gang or Serpent Gang or whatever. I mean, we've seen them in comics before, and just goes brutal on them. Like, blood, she cuts the guy's cybernetic arms off, that kind of stuff. Like, she's
going Dark Phoenix
she
on him.
went Dark Phoenix on without using really. She was just fighting or mimicking their powers and so forth.
But what's the Dark Phoenix? It has something to do with this shit, right?
The Phoenix Force is coming, and it's obviously going to probably go after her and join with her. And there's a lot of concern saying, obviously, that she would turn into another Phoenix situation. Cyclops and Emma show up at the last minute and tell her to go back to Utopia. But just the intensity of it all, because the Avengers hear about it. So this is the setup. We have struggle on both sides, and it's very interesting. More elaboration in the Avengers 24.1. Finally, a point anything issue that really matters. This is a first, Marvel, and I thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing this issue. It was awesome. Vision goes to Utopia and visits Magneto, aka father-in-law. So Vision's talking crazy shit. Magneto's like, I can totally deconstruct you. I control metal. Vision reaches in and grabs his heart. And everyone's like, we should interrupt this. And Cyclops is like, no, this is a family struggle. And Emma's like, oh, and he has him by his heart. This is bad. So they end up talking it out. Magneto ends up talking him, listening to Vision's bullshit, you need to tell me where Wanda is, and you're a bad person, and, blah, 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 laying the guilt trip on. Magneto ends up throwing him out of Utopia. You see Vision recouping at the San Fran Bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge. And so, very interesting issue. And at the end, Steve Rogers is like, Vision, really? You're starting shit with Magneto? Are you kidding
Come on.
me? Yeah. So, all in all, I thought it was a great setup. And I was skeptical about this event. The event, issue 0 is getting a lot of positive feedback and a lot of flack at the same time. So fans are totally separated on this. If it was a good issue or not, it's lame, it's this or that. It was awesome. So honestly,
your overall is it's awesome.
Right. I mean, I don't do this that often. I encourage you guys to check them out. Check the issues out. If a friend bought them, check them out. Give it a chance. I was blown away, and I usually root for the bad guy. I don't really care about heroes too much, but this is cool for a character development standpoint. That family situation, Vision being a son-in-law. I mean, that's
totally.
all. So I don't know. I liked it. So I'm just weighing in on the AVX so far. We haven't read the issue 1 yet. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna read issue 0. I feel like that's gonna be a tie-in, but I'm gonna read issue 1.
Issue 0.
I'm gonna read issue 1. That's what I'm gonna start, and because it's an event, I'm gonna give it a shot. And we'll see. And by shot, I mean I'm gonna read John's issues or Gene. That's because I'm writing too many things.
Yeah.
But before we wrap this whole long ass episode up, I wanted to talk about important thing with me is Vertigo Comics, and recently they put out 4 new number 1s, and it was supposed to be a really big deal because they put out 4 new number 1s, and Vertigo is known for taking those chances and being really good and having long lasting things, and I got to give it to Vertigo and saying this is just a poor effort. Super disappointed. Super disappointed. Ferris is mediocre. I've read better Fables tons of times.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it just fine. But if you're gonna go out and you're gonna do it, I want something slam bang. Cinderella's much better for that. And then we'll go Voodoo Child. The art in this is not meeting the story. They do not coincide. This artist could be very good on something, and I feel like this is not the right place. This cover is amazing, but the writing is just not my thing. It's just not my thing. Maybe it's somebody else's thing. I could see somebody else really liking it. There's a lot of things happening. I mean, this thing is compact, full of shit happening, but it is not my thing. I mean, so it's not my thing that I'm not even gonna finish the first arc, and that's rare for me.
Yeah.
And I looked so much forward to having it be awesome. Then we get to the Dead Wardians, vampire and zombie book. Really haven't heard of one of those before. Zombies and vampires. Wow. it's Dan Abnett. He's great, and this new guy in art, and it's great too. I mean, this is definitely better than those other two. But I want you to be taking great risks. You know, I want this to be. I want you to knock it out of the park. You already have iZombie. You have your zombie book for Vertigo. We don't need to have this one and have another zombie book. There's just no reason to do it. And it does take a really good take. What it is if you're bit by a zombie, before you turn into a zombie, they give you what's called, you become a part of the young, and that's a vampire. And they really control your urges. You're not really biting anybody. They file down your teeth. And you just are, that's how you become not part of the zombies if a zombie ends up biting you. And so it's kind of a clever way, and it was actually a good read. But it's just like, I wish Vertigo would have went further. They had the chance to go further and do more with these new number ones, and they didn't. And the exception to the rule is thank you for, we didn't get 4 great ones, but we did get this one, which was super original, super different, really well drawn, and I really liked it. Saucer County, our country, about this Mexican American who is going to be president, and is aliens are going to be coming, and she's been abducted, and I don't know. It ends up being a really cool issue. So, you know, with all that other stuff that the Vertigo kind of dropped the ball on, they really didn't on this one. And Paul Cornell, I can't wait for this. I hope it's a really long run, and I hope it's really, you know, something just new and original and good. I mean, I'm always looking for that next Y the Last Man, that next Preacher, that next, you know, Starman, the next big, you know, thing that is going to come along, and it's going to be a completed issue and or a completed series, and the whole thing's going to be great. You know, that's what I'm always looking for, the next one. And you know, so hopefully that's what I'm going to get with Saucer Country. All right, you want to wrap up here, buddy?
Man, it's just, you know, a lot happening right now. Obviously, I mean, look at our show.
Yeah.
I can't even see how much we're on. Skyler usually, well, when Skyler does manage to do anything, he gives us the time sometimes. You know, about where we're at. That's
Skyler called in sick tonight, like a little chump.
You know, what's funny is I could hear the karaoke in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
When he did.
That chump.
Yeah, he left it on the corporate.
Yeah, I'm sick.
Sorry, guys.
Hold on, yeah, 4 shots of Jaeger bombs. Yeah, because that's kind of chump that Skyler is. He just only drinks Jaeger. But anyway, thanks again, guys. A comic book look. InveterateMediaJunkies.com. We'd love hearing from you. Send us an email if you have any show ideas at acomicbooklook@gmail.com. This is issue number 37, and we're dominating. Thanks so much for sticking with us. We'll see you next week.
Definitely keep it calm.